Hello and welcome to the War Thunder patch 1.98 development server, where today I am going to be taking a look at the Sukhoi Su-7, also known by NATO as the Fitter-A. This is going to be a new Soviet fighter aircraft coming to the Russian line in War Thunder this patch and being placed behind the LA-200. Being a supersonic aircraft, this is of course a tier 6, and does currently have a 9.0 BR on this dev server iteration, although I highly doubt that BR will remain the same upon the live release of this aircraft. The Su-7 is powered by an AL-7F afterburning turbojet, which can produce over 8,000 kilograms of force when the afterburner is engaged. When at altitude, the aircraft can reach up to Mach 2.2 before getting a speed warning, but it will take a fair while to actually accelerate up to that speed. So reaching above Mach 2 in battle, that's fairly unlikely due to how long it takes to actually accelerate. When at sea level though, the Su-7 can hit Mach 1.08 before the speed warning will appear, and it actually doesn't take too long to accelerate to that speed, so cruising along at Mach 1 plus is probably going to be fairly common for this aircraft. The Su-7 also seems to have decent all-round maneuverability. Also, while testing the aircraft, I never experienced the wings breaking due to high G-forces, so it also seems to be a fairly robust aircraft. Then again, I didn't exactly have much time to put the vehicle through its paces. For landing the aircraft, the Su-7 also possesses a drag chute, which will help you slow down a little bit quicker. As far as suspended weapons, the Fitter currently only has access to dumbfire rockets and bombs. As for rockets, we have three separate types that we'll go through now. Firstly, the S-5Ks. These are quite common on the early Russian helicopters and some other Russian jets. The Su-7 uses in fact the same pods that are used on the Mi-4, also known as the best heli in game, of course. Being able to take 64 S-5Ks across 4 separate pods. The S-5s are actually fairly small rockets. They have 150 mil of armor penetration, and each rocket has 344.4 grams of TNT equivalent explosive in the warhead. These will tend to be best when fired in groups, as the low explosive mass means that they will sort of lack any splash damage if the target is missed, even if it's a fairly close miss. Firing in groups will give you a fairly high chance of actually hitting said target, and if they do hit, if you're firing at the target from above, it's likely the missile will pen and do a fair amount of damage. The Su-7 seemingly also has a ballistic computer that will work with unguided rockets, so that can help you to guide these a bit more accurately. Second type of unguided rockets are the S-3Ks. These are mounted in groups on your pylons. They are not in pods, unlike the S-5s, and they are actually much bigger than the S-5s. Each rocket contains 3.24 kilograms of explosive mass with 300 millimeters of armor penetration. These again have somewhat minimal splash damage, but a direct hit is more or less guaranteed to do a fair amount of damage to your selected target. Third and final type of unguided are the S-24s. These tiny Ivans are much larger unguided rockets, a little bit more difficult to aim due to the amount of drop-off that they have as they are going for the target, but if you do hit the target, you will do a fair amount of damage. Only 80 mil of pen with these, but they do have 25.5 kilograms of explosive mass. I have used these a fair bit on some of the earlier Russian helis, such as the Mi-24D, and they can certainly be fairly fun in the right situation. The ballistics computer, again, will also help you to aim these rockets. And on a side note, the red cloud of death that is produced when the S-24s hit their target and explode is rather cool looking in my opinion. The Su-7 also has access to two types of bombs, Fab 250s and Fab 500s, being 250 kilogram bombs and 500 kilogram bombs respectively. Both of these bombs are effective against most targets with a relatively close hit, and 4 of these can be carried for both types, with 1 on each pylon, 2 on the wings and 2 under the fuselage, essentially giving the Su-7 a bomb payload of up to 2,000 kilograms. Moving on to fixed weapons, the Fitter has a pair of NR30 30mm cannons with 80 rounds per gun. This is in fact the same gun that is also used on the MiG-19 PT and the MiG-21 F-13, so Russian mains should be fairly well versed with using this type of gun. The NR30's armored target rounds also have up to 60mm of pen, meaning that they will be able to destroy many of the ground targets in air battles and damage lighter vehicles in ground RB and SB. A few more things to mention before we finish up. The fuel load when spaded is 7 minutes of fuel minimum, 25 minutes maximum, and 20 minutes of fuel also being an option. The Su-7 also has a radar system that can scan at distances up to 30 kilometers and lock targets that are within 15 kilometers. The Su-7 also has a fully detailed cockpit, as would be expected for a new jet fighter. This is certainly going to be something that simulator players will appreciate. So that is more or less it for the Fitter. Hopefully I have covered everything you would want to know. Personally, I am fairly excited for this aircraft. I find it relatively interesting, and I will probably be researching this fairly quickly when it drops with patch 1.98, although I am somewhat concerned about how it will perform when facing some of the more advanced aircraft in-game with high-G air-to-air missiles. Anyway though, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, please consider dropping a like on the video, maybe even subscribe to the channel for more content similar to this video. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.